4?
How about 4?
Episode 5 or 4. Arthur and Lancelot have Excalibur. Not all of Excalibur. And we ride back into the village. And Arthur reveals almost all of Excalibur to the villagers. And we were riding horses. And I'm a pretty good horse rider.
Very good.
I'm a pretty good horse rider. And I was deep in it, you know, feeling it, tree pumping as we call it. And sitting there on the horse, and then I reveal Excalibur. And the horse decides I'm not allowed to reveal Excalibur. I think I burst out of the scene on a horse, like this. Wasn't the coolest moment of my life, really, you know?
I thought it was the coolest moment. To me, it was the coolest because, like Lee said about, I mean, you guys got to see it even more than and thank you for all the compliments. You got to see it even more than with me, but how talented this guy is. He owned and championed every scene, every bit of dialogue, everything that he said, and I mean that so wholeheartedly. So for him to be in it, and not break character. I give you Excalibur. And I'm still sitting there going, yeah, well, Excalibur just left the building. And then it happens, what, 4 or 5 times?
Yeah, at least.
And then eventually the horse, instead of backing up, because he got tired of backing up, he decided he would just turn from the camera. Excalibur. But Liam's still like this.
It got so bad, they took the horse from me and made me sit on the top of some step ladders. True story. So that scene, you see the sort of close up with the sword, I'm not on a horse. I'm on a pair of step ladders. Classic.
It's funny how the movie horses always know.
Oh, they know.
They'll put you in your place.
Yeah. My other entry.
Another entry for Liam is when they put the sword down to go get Excalibur, so he would go like this.
Just trying to look like a badass.
And then as he would walk away, it would always fall. And then he'd have to come back and get it again.
Yeah, that took probably about half a day longer than it should have done, didn't it?
All in good fun, but sometimes those are the moments that take a while, but not because of any reason or anything like that. Let's see your dab.
If you demonstrate dab, I may attempt it.
Hey! Hey! Hey!
Come up here and do it. Show us the dab. We'll do it with you.
I'm new.
Jamie, record this.
And there was like Robert, myself, JMO, a couple other folks, kind of just walking towards the tomb. And there was a line, I was like, yeah, whatever you do, make sure you don't hit me in the face with the Bible or something. And for some reason, like during the rehearsal, I got the line like utterly wrong, and I was like, what the hell just happened? And everyone was like, it sounded really weird. Then we got to the first take, did the same thing again, but said it completely differently. I think it was the way it was written, it was just quite like, you know how you get those lines sometimes where it's just kind of hard, like, in terms of, the syntax is really messed up. And I just kept doing it like over and over and over again, to the point where I was crying with laughter while we were both like up against the tree, like we can't do the scene anymore, we're just broken. And it took quite a while to sort ourselves out. Even then it was a struggle. But yeah, there were many moments like that too. But that's what makes it fun, you know.
Thanks.
Hi.
Hi.
Do you think Peter Pan will have some sort of major character development in the upcoming season?
I mean, there's always room for it, isn't there? I mean, no one's ever really dead on the show. I mean, I'm a prime example of that. I'm back, and I clearly lost that, and exploded. But here I am.
No one dies on our show.
No, guys. We'll just continue. So yeah,
Except,
I mean,
Graham.
Graham.
Except Graham.
Like there is with everyone, even if you feel like you've explored all there is to explore, you just add another element there, another interesting block of ice, and there you go, you've got another really high. So yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot more to be explored with his relationship with his family. There's you know, you don't know who the mother is, you don't know where it came from, so there's definitely a lot. We know from performances, everyone faces his family, and everything's about his family. It'll be interesting to explore that. So continue.
Thank you.
I was wondering, what was your reaction when you found out that Selena was pregnant with Robin's child?
I thought, I'm going to stay off Twitter for a couple of days. Might be wise to just avoid social media altogether. The boys, Adam and Eddie, phoned me and told me, and I went, oh, that'll go down well. Yeah, I was a little shocked, and I was a little concerned that people may have a certain reaction to it, and they did. So yeah, I was a little shocked, but you know what? It's once upon a time, crazy stuff happens. It's a weird, wild world. So, and even more crazier stuff's going to happen. So, strap in, feel the G's.
Strap in.
Thank you.
Let's go to the other side.
It's just a little boy, and he sounds quite timid and frightened. Well, that's a very good question, little man. I would say, you know, I've always liked sort of the roguish, the scoundrel, the Han Solos of the world. So, kind of a fan of the what do you call it, the Captain Hook fellow. Yeah. How that guy's work.
Well, that's lame. Well, I'm going to see you at Queen. Thank you. Bye bye.
Not a Korea. Do you know what? I watch the show when it airs or when I get sent it once, and then I never watch it again. So I'm not, I don't remember a lot of things until I see them on Twitter or something. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. But I was to say that the scene where Robin and Regina were sitting by the fire and had a little picnic in her office was kind of sweet. And it was one of the few times on the show where we weren't being chased by a monster or nobody was being frozen. We just had a little quiet, romantic kind of thing. And I like the naturalism of that and getting to see them as two normal people that were having a romantic moment rather than Robin Hood and the evil queen doing crazy stuff. So yeah, that's probably my favourite scene.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many great scenes. I always think one of my favorites is when the wife shows up.
That was an awkward day at the office.
That was awkward for the whole cast. Oh no!
I genuinely felt awkward shooting that. My whole body was just like, that's But luckily, obviously Lala's fantastic, and Christy Lang is just brilliant as well. So it's nice when your day is being surrounded by very beautiful actresses that are very easy.
It's a good problem to have.
It's a champagne problem. We'll call it that. Am I going to the left? Sorry, thank you for your question.
Thank you.
I'm going to the right.
Hi. So on like social media and stuff, you post a lot of pictures of you and Colin O'Donoghue and Robbie Kay hanging out outside of the set. So my question is, what do you have any memorable moments with the two of them that you'd like to share?
Memorable moments with me and Colin.
And Michael.
And Michael Raymond James.
Yeah.
Well, we're sort of brothers, It normally involves drinking. So that's what I was saying when you said, are they memorable? I'm sure they are, I just can't remember them. Because we end up going, yeah, let's just ride hard we'll have one more to hell with it, what could go wrong? And they're like, oh, sugar, we're driving a bus, we shouldn't be doing it. No, it just, you know, the one thing about this show more than anything else is, I always say, because I've been doing this a long time, you're very lucky if you take one friend away that stays with you for life, you know, that you'll be friends forever and ever and ever. On this show, I couldn't tell you how many people I will be friends with for as long as I live, or as long as they live, because it's a really, something about the environment, we're all away from home for most of us, so you're either going to get along or you're not, and on this show people get along, and that makes for a better chemistry between the cast, it makes for a better experience, and yeah, so a long answer to your question, but there's just no bad memories, put it that way. They're all good. They're all really good. I think the original Robin Hood get-up, it's a bit uncomfortable because it's hot in the summer and it's not great in the winter, but you just feel like a badass. And when you go up to the catering truck, they go, she's bound to be in the show, because, you know, it also, costumes, I'm sure Lee will back me up on this, costumes are helpful for an actor because they help you step into the person a little bit more. That costume it makes you walk kind of, you know, you feel more heroic and stuff, and so it informs the performance and hopefully makes you do your job better. And I kind of got geeked out first time around. I was like, oh yeah. Feels like getting dressed up in a Batman costume or something, you know? So yes, I would say the original, proper, true Robin Hood costume.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello, Sean. Hi. First off, you're kind of looking like Emma Swan today.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Should have entered the costume contest.
It's not, it's a compliment, it's a good thing.
Well spotted.
Speaking of costumes, what do you think Robin Hood would look like as a dark one? Would he have, you know, maybe guy liner, maybe borrowed from Hook, I don't know.
Yeah, I want guy liner. Why not, man? Let's dress up, we'll play make-believe. It's fun.
Would he have like a dark bow, maybe, and like...
I would very much like to see a dark Robin Hood. I think I don't know, I mean, it's always fun tapping into the darkness of a character, and you know, Colin's obviously, sorry, not Colin, Emma, Jennifer Morrison's got a chance to play the dark one this season, and so has Bobby, and Lana gets to be evil, and Bex gets to be wicked. The villains have more fun, I think.
It seems like they've been skipping you a lot, too.
Yeah, but I'm a bit boring compared to them. I've got no magic. I've got a bow, and they're like, shut up, we don't need a bow. Magic of it, got fire in her hands. You know, everyone's dead in the underworld. Why are you carrying that thing? Sorry, it just makes me feel comfortable. It's like a little traffic keeper. What do you call those things? Trapper keeper, yeah. It's a trapper keeper. Anyway, I forgot what the question was.
If Robin Hood was the dark one, what would you think he would look like?
I think I like the original costume for like all kind of black and dark, and I think I should look really pale. Actually, I'm sounding a bit more like a heroin addict. Maybe less like a heroin addict, more like a sort of vampire-ish type Robin Hood. I like the idea.
I dress you like a Sid Vicious.
Yeah. I think I have to chop all my hair off and sort of,
I'd like to see you all pumped
scary
out.
and aggressive looking. Yeah. So,
dangerous.
You've got me thinking.
Dangerous looking.
But yes, I think that kind of like dark kind of, and I think I wear my hood up a lot because it gets really cold here. So.
I wonder how Regina would feel about it.
Sorry?
I wonder how Regina would feel about it.
I don't know. I'll run it by her.
It's all in the family, you know.
Be evil together. Be fun. Thank you.
Evil ever after? That'd be your vows.
Yeah, we're like, we must be evil. Be evil every day. Love you, evil.
Alright, let's jump to the other side, stage left.
Hey, did you know that Marion was actually Selena the whole time or no?
I can't remember when they told me. No, I didn't. I think we had Marion back before, and I was playing as if it was just real, really Marion had come back, I think before they told me. Probably because they, you know, we don't get told huge amounts because if it doesn't inform the character, why tell them? Nobody knows their own future. So when they told me, I was a bit like, ooh, cause problems. But you know, it's what the show does well, which is, you know, take something and we took it for granted that she was really her, and then of course it turns out that it's pesky Max. Thank you for your question.
Hi, Sean.
Hi.
The personal opinion, who do you think would win in an archery competition? Robin, Snow, or Merida?
Well, it's difficult to say because Merida looked really good on the show. She did some fancy stuff. And Snow's pretty good too. But apparently Robin never misses, which I don't know if that's entirely true. I don't know if he's actually hit anything yet. I never miss. And I'm like, well, if you don't shoot, Robin, you're never going to miss. You're not actually shooting, you have to shoot to miss or hit something. So,
dude, who's number one on the call sheet?
I'll tell you who's the best Ginny.
I say Snowman.
No, I would bow to both the girls. They're master archers, and they're pretty to boot.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hiya.
Hi. I was wondering what it's like to work closely with a child actor.
I mean, I grew up as a child actor, so some actors don't particularly like working with children and animals. There's an alternative, don't love children and animals, but as somebody who grew up on sets, I feel like I understand. You know, it's difficult when you're 5 or 6 or 7, because it holds your imagination or your entertainment for 2 minutes, and then you're like, what is this now? And we go, la 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 la. So it can be frustrating, but Raphael, for example, who plays my son on the show, is the most extraordinary little boy. Not only is he talented and just, like, he actually thinks like an actor. When I was his age and I was acting, I was just like, I've got to do what? Okay, I'll do that. But he's thinking of stuff. We were doing a scene the other day, and nobody told him to do anything, but I said something to him, and he just hugged me. I was like, he's just an extraordinary little talent, and he's an extraordinary little man, and he's got his feet on the ground, and his mum is there with him all the time, and she's very good about his manners and he's just a very well-raised child, very well-mannered and professional, and so if I'm going with that as an example, I like having children on set, but it's tough for them because the hours are long and it does get a bit boring after a while. But Raphael, who's just finished shooting a movie, will probably, I would imagine, have his own TV show within the next few years because there's not many kids that have that level of talent. Or he might turn out to be the next Leonardo DiCaprio, I don't know. But he's extraordinary, and I absolutely love him to bits. I love him like he's my own son.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, let's not get mushy.
Hi, Sean. The relationship between Regina and you progressing to perhaps an engagement or marriage soon?
Whoa.
Well, yeah, like heavy and stuff, because we've only just, done stuff, maybe we should just move in together, see how it goes, I don't know which side of the bed she likes. She might be a morning person, I'm not a morning person, I don't know. These two characters seem to gel well together and seem to have people seem to have responded to them as a duo, so it's always nice. I mean, it helps when you're partnered up with an actress like Lana, who's obviously one of the most popular characters on a very, very popular show. It's like being given a great tennis partner. You're obviously going to do better than if you were with somebody that you didn't get on with and really wasn't good. But I hope that they do. I hope that they let the two of them evolve, and there's got to be obstacles, otherwise it wouldn't be a drama. But I hope that they live happily ever after.
Okay, thank you.
Hello.
Hello. I was wondering if you could live your life like as Sean, but in the perspective of a character from the show, who would it be?
So if I'm still me, but I would have like Regina's powers or Emma's red jacket. This was not planned. I guess, well, obviously I don't have real magical powers in real life, so I'd quite like them, if just for parking and things like that. So I think probably Bobby, because I think Bobby's the most gold, Rumple, because A, he's really cool, and B, he can do like, we don't even know what he can do. He can do lots of stuff. So I think he's like the most badass out of everybody. So I would go with Mr. Gold, I think.
And you know what? You'd look good driving the caddy too.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be a good personal driver for you.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
See that representing?
Yeah, badass. Thank you. Hi.
Hello. So you, the first time Robin Hood showed up, you were not the actor. So when you were, how was it taking over someone's part? Did you feel like you needed to be better? And because...
to be better than Tom. Always.
I mean, the first Robin Hood was, he didn't have a major part, but he became major later. And because there was already, like, established things, relationships amongst other characters, who were you most excited to meet and get to work with?
Well, I'd already met Colin.
Prior to the show?
You kind of check around, you ask friends who've been on shows, hey, what's it like up there? They're cool, you know, are you gonna like them? And the feedback was it's a good set, it's a nice bunch of people, it's a fun show to be on. But I was sort of excited to meet all of them because I'd seen a little bit of the show, I hadn't seen a lot. But I knew that Jennifer Morrison and Ginny were both great actresses, and I just thought, and Bobby was on the show, so you just, as an actor, you feel like, oh, I'm going to be playing with, whoever I'm playing with, they're all good, they're all strong. So, I was just excited to get in the mix, and I also didn't know the part was initially only, I think, a couple of episodes. It was only supposed to be 5 episodes. So it's always nice when they go, well, we're going to write some more for you. You know, you just feel like, I must be getting something right. So, yeah, it's, you know, now 3 years on, it feels like just a very lucky twist of fate that Tom couldn't come back to reprise the role because he had another show in the UK. So it's just, it works that way sometimes. It's just luck. And I've recently met Tom. I bumped into him and just said thank you for being so talented that you book shows all over the place because it means that I got your role and I've been very, very happy.
Did he ask for like 10%?
Yeah, he said, you give me money now. And I went, no, because I'm a thief. I want to steal your money. No, he's a lovely guy, and you know, he was just like, no, great, I'm glad it's worked out well for you. So, yeah, happy days. Thank you. Hi.
Hi, Sean.
Hiya.
Sorry for jumping on you earlier.
I know, I remember.
Okay, so my question is, what do you and Lana do to create such hot chemistry on camera? I mean, you're both with different people in real life, so, you know, I have to ask.
Bikram yoga. To be honest, I don't think, I think you're aware as an actor whether you have chemistry with another actor or not, or people will say you do, or they'll say you don't. And I feel generally that the vibe about the two of them together is a positive one, and that people generally seem to feel that we have chemistry together, but it's not something that we've really ever sort of discussed. It's sort of...
So it just comes naturally?
Well, yeah, I mean, we're pretty close as friends, so often we're just talking about stuff in our lives, or whatever's going on in our lives, and then we walk to set, and then we kind of just go into it. But there are certain times when, if there's certain emotional scenes, and this is just a general rule, you become very respectful of somebody else's space. I tend to make jokes on set a lot and be silly and goofy, which is fine when it's just a run-of-the-mill kind of scene. But if somebody's got to get to that place where they have to get very emotional and maybe cry, or somebody's dying or died, or, you know, cracking knock-knock jokes then can be a bit insensitive to the other actor's performance, because, you know, you kind of want to get to that place
so when they go action, you're ready to give it, you know? So it's just a case of reading the room, knowing when to, you know, to be casual and make jokes, and when to kind of quieten down. And so that's certainly how it is with us, and yeah, it's just been that way from the start, really.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Sean. Hello.
Hi.
So at the beginning of this season, we saw Robin saved from the Furies. Is there any chance that there's going to be ramifications in saving them?
I'm sorry, say that again?
At the beginning of the season, we saw like Regina, Charming, and Snow save Robin from the Furies from the underworld coming to take him.
Yeah.
Is there any chance of us seeing ramifications of that this second half?
What, the Regina and Josh and
Yeah.
I think I helped too! Isn't that the Earth, Wind, and Fire?
Yeah, I think, well, there's a bunch of us going to the underworld tomorrow. Oh, that's a load of bollocks. Because it covers a lot of things, you know, when people annoy you, or you get a parking ticket, or it starts raining on your wedding day. Oh, bollocks. Seems to cover it quite well. Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Well, welcome, brother. Welcome, pirate.
Thanks very much, Lee.
Dude, I remember when, you remember our first couple scenes when we'd have those dueling, because you hate me on the show, and I love it. It's one of my favorite moments of all time, dealing with this guy, because no matter what Grumpy does, Hook will just look at him like, give me the look. You do it all this time, look.
Literally every time. So every time we've got a scene, you can go back and watch it. I always say to Leo, come on, because he's always, Grumpy's always shouting, right? So I think it's like, whoa, what's happening? It's always like this. That's what Captain Hook does all the time.
I'm jumping in on you.
Because he literally interrupts everything. Just when Hook is about to have a moment with Emma or something like that, he'll come screaming and it's just like, oh, here he comes again. Here's Grumpy again. Brilliant. Brilliant.
Perfect timing. Sorry about that, brother.
That's
Ready
okay.
for some questions?
Hi.
Hi.
Here's my question. Who do you think would win a sword fight? Killian, Robin Hood, or David?
Who do I think is the best at swordplay?
Yes.
Well, Captain Hook. Well, hold on a second. Come back. Who do you think is the best?
I like David.
That's fair. That's a fair point. Fair enough. Thank you for your...
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Colin. I'll alternate.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Everybody just keeps saying hello, so I said howdy. My question for you is not that you will meet them ever, and probably have never needed them, but what is your favorite cheesy pickup line, or feeling that any pickup line?
What's my favorite cheesy pickup line?
Yeah, you know, like the really campy ones. Like, what's like your favorite one? Do you need an example?
I don't really know. I've never really used a pickup line. I don't mean that because I've been with the same person since I was 18, so I don't really. The only one I can think of is what is it? You must be hey Lee. I can't even.
Oh, just toss me your rookie, big boy.
That's my pickup line is, hey Lee.
Trust me, even with me, it's all it takes. Yes, baby.
I honestly don't know any pickup lines. Yeah.
How you doing?
You want one for the future?
Well, yes.
Okay, is there a mirror in your pants, or
Hey Lee, what's your room number?
Thank you.
Thank you.
That is outrageous behavior. What a question.
You're gonna remember. You're gonna remember.
Only you. The rest of it's straightforward. What's it like in the show? And Colin walks out, and you're like, all of a sudden, there's mirrors in his pants. Let's go to
Hey.
this.
Hi.
Hi.
So you've portrayed a lot of different sides of Captain Hook, and I mean, you've played Killian, Captain Hook. You even portrayed Uncle at one point. What was your favorite side of, I guess, I don't know if I should say like your character, but what was your favorite side of a character to play?
Well, it's hard to pick a favorite because I've been lucky enough to be able to do so much with the character. I personally really love Dark Hook. I just thought he was so much fun. He's like, even though he was completely evil and sinister and I guess sociopathic, whatever, he also, I thought, seemed like he would be great fun if he liked you and wasn't going to kill you. I think that you'd have a laugh with him. So I guess that was sort of. I liked the original Hook when I came on season 2 as well. That was sort of. He was fun to. It was fun to kind of be, I guess, a bad boy who people sort of wanted to hang around with, and he was kind of a bit dangerous. I like that.
And I also think you did a hell of a job, brother, too, in the episode with your brother, when you were the naive before like any of this had formed. And was that in Crocodile? Was that in the Crocodile?
No, that wasn't Crocodile. That was. Good form. I couldn't remember.
Remember how it was so interesting because this guy's. I mean, that's what I'm talking about earlier about the opportunity that we get to play all these aspects, and to go like for me, like it was very similar to that dreamy kind of thing. And I just thought, like, it was so believable. And then we could see, as the audience, now we see you in the dark side. So it's kind of exciting to see before any of that formed as those ideas were hitting the characters.
Yeah, it was interesting to get to play that because, we don't always know what's going to happen with the characters or where they're going to go. And, to get to be able to portray that is great. Thank you, Lee. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome, brother. You rock, man. You know it. Please.
What's the funnest scene you've got to shoot with Jen?
What's the funnest thing I've got to shoot? We've shot a lot together, so I guess probably the stuff in the Beanstalk was fun because we were dangling like 30 feet in the air, but that whole episode was fun because you kind of got to see this sparkle between them, and you kind of, it was nice because you never knew if anything was going to happen, or whether it was going to happen or not, and it was sort of, that's interesting to play with, because then you don't have to, there's no holding back with things, you can push it to the limits, and then see what comes back and stuff, so that was kind of fun.
And what a super cool kind of relationship, kind of like a 1940s, or like old-time movies, the way that you banter back and forth. Yeah. And that's one thing I love about the relationship of those two characters is the intelligence in their dialogue. And I always think that's you guys have great chemistry when you get into those scenes. It's really beautiful to watch.
Yeah, look, Jen and I are great friends, and sort of, we work well together, I think, you know what I mean? And that's what's great, is that people sort of see this relationship and they invest in it. And that, as an actor, that's great, because that's what you want people to do when you act. You want people to invest in what you're doing. And it's fun. But to be honest with you, I think the whole cast, that's one thing that's really great about this show, is that the entire cast work really, really well together. Everybody has a relationship. You know what I mean? Like Hook and Regina have a whole different thing going on, which is equally fun to play. You know what I mean? Us, with Grumpy and Hook, it's like little moments where we mightn't necessarily have all the dialogue, but it's just like those moments where he comes in, he gives me a dirty look, I give him a dirty look, and somewhere in the background, there's something going on, but it's just fun to have all that subtext. So we're lucky to have.
Yeah, that's
changed my
view of people who are disabled or how they get along in the world.
Oh, that's deep. Well, actually, you know what? It's funny you say that because it has. But I'll tell you what. I obviously have two hands. But like for 10 hours of the day, 14 hours on most days, I'll only use one hand for a portion of the day. And you do sort of realise, when I first started, you kind of think about how can I use this in day-to-day settings in the context of the scene. So you sort of appreciate how difficult it must be for somebody who has, let's say, lost a limb or lost a hand or whatever. I mean, I could never understand what that's like because, I'm lucky enough for that to have not happened to me. But you can appreciate how difficult it is to have to try and use things, you know what I mean? But I guess I haven't thought about it a huge amount, but yeah, probably a little bit of an answer. But if I say yes, it's just going to make everybody go, ah.
If you say no, they're going to boo. So.
No.
Yeah. Here's the thing is that I think that they both saw something in each other that they really connected with. I don't know necessarily that it was love at first sight, but I think that there was a deep, deep connection there, and I think that's blossomed into whatever thing that they have.
I mean, honestly, I think it was love at first sight, but both the characters were so jaded by their previous experiences that they weren't open to it, I mean, that's what we see when we saw it, but the character themselves wouldn't because they don't believe in that because of all the, You know what I'm saying? And that's what's really special of them coming together. It's two hard asses loving hard, It's beautiful.
Loving it to the max.
Go big or go home, Captain Hook.
Oh my god.
I'm on the other side, brother.
Hello, love.
Hello, love.
I think you did a really great job portraying a dark one. You do that really well.
Thank you.
My question is, how was that transition into becoming a dark one when before you were just trying to get the darkness out of them?
I mean, to be honest with you, it wasn't terribly difficult because it's fun to do stuff like that. So basically, my take on the dark one was I sort of took elements of what I think what Bobby does with Rumpelstiltskin, where he enjoys the anarchy. You know what I mean? And I thought to myself, when I knew I was going to be doing it, I sort of thought, the darkness wouldn't want Hook to hate being dark. It would want him to really appreciate it and embrace it and have fun with it. And I kind of thought that was the important thing. So once Hook realized that he was actually a dark one, he knew that, he didn't have the control to start. He says that to Emma before she saved him. Don't save me, let me go. I don't have the willpower to be able to fight this. And once the realization, the memories came back in, then he was like, okay, I'm the dark one.
I mean, that's one of the coolest things about your character to me, is those moments of the self-awareness that they've written into your guy. So you're playing this character that, had this duplicitous morality, maybe a bad guy, maybe a good guy from the beginning of your appearance on the show, and obviously you morphed into a good guy, but you still have that tendency, you're conflicted. In your love relationship, same thing. And, I think that's one of the great things that you brought to the role is this, you really set up those two polar opposites of it, and really that we get to see and enjoy that almost a tennis match within you, because you're.
Hi. Do you think Captain Hook misses the Jolly Roger more than he portrays that he does?
Does he miss it more than
he portrays he does in the show?
Yeah, we sort of tackled that at one point, where I think it was last season, where he kind of says, you know, he thinks that he's lost Emma and he just gives himself to the ship. And that's just before we realised that he traded the ship to save Emma. And that was sort of, for him, I know that seems like a ridiculous thing to most people, but for him, I mean, Jolly Roger was was the only thing he cared about for 300 years. And, you know, for a pirate like Captain Hook, that's the only thing that he had left. After he lost Mila, the only thing he had was that ship, because it reminded him of his brother and what he lost when his brother died. And so he missed it, and I think he still missed it, but he prefers Emma to the ship.
Well, it really represented that part of his life, but like where he is now.
Yeah.
But he's very much, in essence, he's living that kind of life in the moment.
Yeah, look, I mean, Hook is working hard. I mean, he's working hard to try and be the person that he feels she deserves.
He's being mindful.
Yeah, I mean, he's still a 300-year-old pirate, so it's like difficult to get rid of everything within the context. I mean, in the context of the ocean. Yeah, it's a big age difference. Yeah, but yeah. So yeah.
Hello. So there are a lot of things that Hook hasn't really told Emma, and like for example, the year that before he went back and told her that like she needs to come back to reality, and so that the year that nobody remembers anything, like where he was, and like he said, 300 years worth of things that like, well, at least on screen, he hasn't really told her much. So do you think that she'll like eventually have any problems with that, and do you think that will jeopardize their relationship or anything?
I think if they get an opportunity to actually sit down and have a proper conversation, that will be more surprising than anything, because there's always something happening.
True.
So I think when they finally get to that place where she's going to be like, well, you know what, you haven't really told me anything, then I think Leroy's going to come running in and carry some kind of giant vampire bat chewing on David's head.
Well, that's actually one of my favorite bits in the whole show for my character is when Regina goes, at one point she goes, I know just who to tell. And from now on, I'm the town crier. It's like, as if that's not a good job.
Yeah, so I think, I'm sure at some point they'll have to address things. But I think that they accept each other for who they are, and they accept each other's pasts. Because they both know neither of them were perfect.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, look, Hook was a little bit worse than Emma. I'm not gonna lie. He's done some pretty bad things, but he's trying to make amends for it. She knows that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Josh Dallas had a fart machine on set once. When Neverland. We were in the, nobody realised, and we were in the middle of a take. And next thing you know, Josh likes to play a few pranks. Yeah, I'll tell you what he likes to do. He likes to make you laugh when the camera's on you. That's a competition that Mikey, Raymond James, Josh, and I had for that season, was to see who was going to laugh the most and how often we could crack each other up. Which seems like it seems like fun, which it is fun until you've been working for 15 hours that day and people just want to get home. And then it's less fun for everybody else. But we have a good time doing it. So, Josh, I guess. Have I ever had a bowl of Lucky Charms?
I'm sorry, I sound so American asking you this.
That was vaguely Donald Trump. I can see Trump saying that to you.
I have had a bowl of Lucky Charms.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Were they magically delicious?
They were well, do you know what, Lee? They were magically delicious.
Do you know dance now?
That's not my actual question, but is there anything about your character that has inspired you individually, like as an individual, role?
Yeah, I mean, I would confident to wear leather in my day-to-day life, but I don't. No, I mean, I think, to be honest with you, I think Captain Hook is, in some weird way, a little element of actually me in here, or who, I'll tell you what it is. He's who 15-year-old Colin wished that he would become. Do you know what I mean? I think that's, as actors, I think that's where characters come from. It has to be something that you feel like you connect with, you know, and then you take a little kernel of that and then you plant it in the work and then you begin to develop a character and it grows.
If you could be any other character, what character would you be?
I would be Robin Hood.
Yeah, because he's my favourite.
No, because it'll give me a chance to work on my really silly voice.
So I could sound more like this. Hello, Sean.
Get up here, Sean, and give me a hug in front of people, will you?
All right, one last one.